The city was a festering wound. Its streets, once bustling with life and hope, now lay in decay, a shadow of their former selves. The air was thick with the stench of neglect, and the echoes of a once vibrant community were now replaced by the whispers of despair. Crime oozed from every corner. In the dark alleys, deals were made, lives were lost, and the innocent were caught in the crossfire. The police tape fluttered in the wind, a silent witness to the chaos that reigned supreme. Drugs, violence, corruption, a toxic cocktail that poisoned the very soul of the city. The underworld thrived, feeding off the misery and desperation of its inhabitants. Every handshake, every exchange was a testament to the city's moral decay. And the cops? Some were clean, most were dirty. The thin blue line that was supposed to protect and serve had become blurred, tainted by greed and power. Bribes exchanged hands, and justice was a commodity that could be bought and sold. The badge, once a symbol of hope, now reflected the city's decay. It was a relic of a bygone era, tarnished and worn, much like the police station that stood in disrepair. The walls, once echoing with the sounds of duty and honor, now whispered tales of betrayal and corruption. Among the grime and despair, Detective Jack Murphy stood apart. He was a man of principle in a world that had forgotten the meaning of the word. His eyes, hardened by years of witnessing the city's decline, still held a glimmer of hope. He knew the streets were a jungle, a concrete labyrinth where danger lurked around every corner, and trust was a rare commodity. Yet he navigated it with a sense of purpose, determined to make a difference, no matter how small. But he clung to his ideals, a beacon of integrity in a sea of shadows. In a city where darkness reigned, Detective Jack Murphy was a solitary light, unwavering and resolute, fighting to restore a semblance of justice to a world that had long forgotten its meaning. Jack was a cop's cop. He was the kind of officer who commanded respect from his peers and fear from the criminals. His reputation was built on years of dedication, hard work, and an unyielding sense of justice. Jack had always believed in the sanctity of the badge, the honor it represented, and the responsibility it carried. He was a man of principle, a beacon of integrity in a world that often seemed devoid of it. Hardened by years on the force, he'd seen it all. From the darkest alleys to the most dangerous criminals, Jack had faced them head-on. He had been through countless shootouts, high-speed chases, and tense standoffs. Each experience had left its mark on him, both physically and mentally. Yet through it all he remained steadfast in his commitment to protect and serve. The city was his home, and he would do anything to keep it safe. But the rot within the department cut him deep. Corruption had seeped into the very fabric of the force, tainting everything it touched. Jack had always known that there were bad apples, but he never imagined the extent of the decay. It wasn't just a few rogue officers, it was a systemic issue that threatened to undermine everything he stood for. The betrayal he felt was profound, shaking him to his core. He lived by a code: truth, justice, the right way. This code was his guiding light, the moral compass that directed his every action. It was more than just a set of rules, it was a way of life. Jack believed that without this code, the world would descend into chaos. He had seen firsthand what happened when people lost their way, and he was determined to prevent that from happening to his city. That code was being broken. The very principles he held dear were being trampled upon by those who were supposed to uphold them. It was a bitter pill to swallow, knowing that the institution he had dedicated his life to was crumbling from within. Jack couldn't stand idly by and watch as everything he believed in was destroyed. He knew he had to take a stand, no matter the cost. He'd caught whispers, rumors of cops on the take, turning a blind eye to the city's decay. These whispers were more than just idle gossip. They were the harbingers of a deeper, more insidious problem. Jack had always trusted his instincts, and they were telling him that something was terribly wrong. He began to dig deeper, uncovering a web of deceit and corruption that reached the highest levels of the department, ignoring the cries of the innocent. The very people they had sworn to protect were being abandoned, left to fend for themselves in a city that was slowly rotting from the inside out. Jack couldn't bear to see the suffering of the innocent, the helplessness in their eyes. It fueled his determination to root out the corruption and restore honor to the badge. He couldn't stand for it. Jack knew that he had to take action, to be the change he wanted to see. It wasn't going to be easy. The forces he was up against were powerful and deeply entrenched. But Jack had never backed down from a fight, and he wasn't about to start now. He was ready to put everything on the line to cleanse his city and his department. His city, his department needed cleansing. Jack was prepared to do whatever it took to restore justice and integrity. He knew the road ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty, but he was resolute. For Jack, this was more than just a job. It was a calling, a mission to protect the innocent and uphold the values he cherished. The battle for the soul of the city had begun, and Jack was ready to lead the charge. It began with a routine drug bust, except it wasn't routine. The evidence was too clean, the suspects too calm. Something stank worse than the back alleys he patrolled. He started digging, following the trail of dirty money. Each thread led him deeper into the heart of the department. His gut churned. The whispers were true. His investigation became a solitary pursuit. Every partner he requested was mysteriously reassigned. Every lead he followed turned cold. He was being stonewalled by his own people. His phone rang at odd hours, hushed warnings, veiled threats. They knew he was onto them, but they underestimated him. He was just getting started. Section 5. The walls close in. The pressure mounted. His superiors, once supportive, now eyed him with suspicion. His every move was scrutinized, his every word twisted. They were trying to break him, but he wouldn't be silenced. He had a responsibility to the badge, to the city, to the memory of every honest cop who'd worn the uniform. He would expose them no matter the cost. Section 6. Unmasking the Enemy Within. The break came from an unexpected source, a rookie cop fresh out of the academy still clinging to his ideals. He'd witnessed something, a meeting, an exchange of money. He was scared, but he trusted Murphy. Armed with this new information, Murphy set a trap. A sting operation, carefully planned, perfectly executed, and when the dust settled, the truth stood bare. The traitors were unmasked. Section 7. Justice served, a city redeemed. The arrest sent shockwaves through the city. High-ranking officers, respected veterans, all exposed as frauds. The scandal rocked the department to its core. A city watched in disbelief and anger, but from the ashes of betrayal rose a glimmer of hope. The trial was swift, the verdict just. The corrupt were punished, their reign of terror over. The city could finally breathe again. Section 8. The Price of Truth. In the heart of the city, where shadows lurk in every corner and secrets are buried deep, one man stood as a beacon of hope. Detective Jack Murphy, a name once whispered in disdain, now echoed through the halls of justice. His journey from outcast to hero was not just a tale of redemption, but a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Detective Jack Murphy, once ostracized, became a hero. His unwavering dedication to the truth earned him accolades and respect. But behind the medals and the applause lay a story of sacrifice and relentless pursuit, a symbol of integrity in a city desperate for it. Jack's presence was a reminder that even in the darkest times there are those who will stand up for what is right. He became a bridge between the law and the community, fostering trust and cooperation, but his victory came at a price. The weight of his responsibilities often left him weary. Nights spent alone in his office, poring over case files, haunted by the faces of victims and the cries for justice. He'd seen the darkness in the hearts of men, the depths to which they could sink. Each crime scene was a testament to the cruelty and malice that lurked beneath the surface of society, the ease with which power corrupted. Jack witnessed firsthand how those entrusted with authority could be swayed by greed and ambition. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but it only strengthened his resolve. He continued to serve, forever vigilant, always on the lookout for the next threat. His dedication was unwavering, his commitment to justice, unyielding. The long hours and sleepless nights were a small price to pay for the safety of his city, a guardian against the shadows. Jack patrolled the streets, his presence a deterrent to those who would do harm. He knew every alley, every hidden corner, always ready to confront the darkness head-on, for he knew that the fight for justice never truly ends. It was a constant battle, a never-ending struggle to maintain order and protect the innocent. But Jack was prepared to face it, no matter the cost. It is a constant battle, one that requires not just strength but also wisdom and compassion. Jack's ability to strategize and work with his team was crucial in navigating the complexities of the job, a commitment to uphold the oath, to serve and protect. The badge he wore was not just a symbol of authority, but a reminder of the promises he made to his community, to protect and serve, no matter the cost. As he looked out over the city, Jack knew that his mission was far from over. The challenges ahead were daunting, but he was ready, for the price of truth was one he was willing to pay every single day.